Imagine a wizard whose name echoes through the annals of history, a master of arcane power, whose influence shaped the very fabric of the multiverse. This is Mordenkainen, a legend amongst wizards, a figure of mystery and power, and a man whose actions have left an indelible mark on the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Mordenkainen is not your typical hero. He doesn't fight for justice or glory, but seeks balance above all else. To him, the multiverse is a delicate tapestry, and his mission is to ensure it remains intact, even if that means making difficult and controversial choices. Welcome everyone, my name is Philip from the D20Dilemma, and I am thrilled to take you on a journey into the life and legacy of one of D&D's most iconic characters. Today, we're exploring the story of Mordenkainen. From his origins as a young mage in the world of Greyhawk, to his rise as a founder of the Circle of Eight, we will uncover his philosophies, his greatest accomplishments, and his enigmatic role as the multiverse's eternal guardian. So settle in, adventurers, as we dive into the lore of the one and only Mordenkainen. To understand the genius of Mordenkainen, we must first journey to the free city of Greyhawk, one of the most vibrant and storied locations in the multiverse. Nested within the world of Greyhawk, this bustling metropolis is a hub of trade, intrigue, and adventure. It is a city where fortunes are made, alliances are forged, and secrets are bartered like precious gems. Mordenkainen was born into this lively yet dangerous environment, where survival often depended on cunning and ambition. His early years are shrouded in mystery, but it is believed that he comes from a modest background, showing little sign of the greatness that awaited him. Unlike many wizards of his caliber, Mordenkainen did not come from a line of powerful mages or noble blood. Instead, his journey began with sheer determination, a keen intellect, and his insatiable curiosity for the arcane. As a young man, Mordenkainen quickly proved himself to be an extraordinary talent. He apprenticed under some of the most skilled magic users in Greyhawk, learning the fundamentals of spellcraft and alchemy. His teachers were awestruck by his ability to master complex incantations with ease, often outpacing their expectations. However, Mordenkainen was never content with simply following in the footsteps of his mentors. He sought to push the boundaries of magic, delving into obscure texts and experimenting with untested theories. What set Mordenkainen apart from other wizards of his time was not just his raw talent, but his ability to see the bigger picture. Even as an apprentice, he displayed a remarkable understanding how magic could shape the world, not just as a tool for power, but as a force that required balance and responsibility. This philosophy would become the cornerstone of his life's work. In his early 20s, Mordenkainen began to travel beyond Greyhawk, seeking knowledge from distant lands and ancient ruins. He ventured into forgotten dungeons, uncovered lost artifacts, and encountered beings from other planes of existence. Each journey added to his growing repertoire of magical knowledge, solidifying his reputation as a rising star in the magical community. It wasn't long before Mordenkainen returned to Greyhawk, not as a mere student, but as a master in his own right. He established himself as a formidable figure in the city, earning the respect and fear of those who crossed his path. His influence began to extend beyond Greyhawk's borders, as wizards and scholars from across the land sought him out for his wisdom and guidance. But for Mordenkainen, personal power was never the ultimate goal. He recognized the dangers of unchecked ambition and the chaos it could bring to the multiverse. This realization led him to form a vision that would define his legacy, a vision of balance. In a world where good and evil, law and chaos constantly clashed, Mordenkainen saw the necessity of maintaining equilibrium, ensuring that no single force could dominate and destabilize reality. His early experiences in Greyhawk laid the foundations for everything he would become. They shaped his understanding of power, his respect for the delicate interplay of forces, and his commitment to using his abilities not for personal gain, but for the greater good. From these humble beginnings, Mordenkainen would rise to become one of the most influential and enigmatic figures in the history of Dungeons & Dragons. The Circle of Eight stands as one of Mordenkainen's greatest achievements, a testament to his dedication to the pursuit of balance and the preservation of the world. Originally formed as the Citadel of Eight, the group began as a small alliance of adventurers and scholars, united by the shared desire to confront the growing threats to Greyhawk. Mordenkainen was the driving force in its formation, carefully selecting individuals who embodied a wide range of magical disciplines and moral perspectives. The initial members of the Citadel of Eight included legendary figures like Bigby, Tensor, and Robler, each bringing unique skill and philosophies to the table. However, the group's early adventures were fraught with challenges. Personality clashes, differing priorities, and external pressures tested their cohesion, ultimately leading to the Citadel's dissolution. Yet this setback did not deter Mordenkainen. In time, Mordenkainen reorganized the group into what would become the Circle of Eight. This new incarnation was more structured and focused, comprising of 8 powerful wizards: Bigby, Dromage, Jalarzi Salavarian, Nicetool, Otto, Rary, Tensor, and himself. Each member represented a facet of magical experience, from conjuration to divination, ensuring that the circle had the versatility to address any challenge. The Circle of Eight operated as a secretive and enigmatic organization, working behind the scenes to maintain the delicate equilibrium of Greyhawk. They acted as guardians against external threats such as demonic incursions, rogue deities, and power-hungry warlords. Their methods were often subtle and indirect, relying on manipulation, strategic alliances, and when necessary, overwhelming magical force. Mordenkainen's leadership was crucial in steering the Circle's actions, as he constantly reminded his peers of their mission to uphold balance above all else. The Circle's impact on Greyhawk was profound. They thwarted countless schemes that could have plunged the world into chaos, from the sinister machinations of Utes the Evil to the resurgence of ancient evils like Vecna. However, their influence extended beyond immediate crisis. The Circle's members also served as mentors, allies, and occasionally adversaries to the adventurers of Greyhawk, leaving an indelible mark on the world's history. Despite their success, the Circle of Eight was not without controversy. Critics accused them of arrogance, secrecy, and moral ambiguity, questioning whether their self-appointed role as arbiters of balance granted them too much power. Mordenkainen himself often grappled with the ethical dilemmas posed by their actions. Was it right to manipulate events from the shadows, even if it served the greater good? Could the Circle truly claim to be impartial when its members had their own biases and agendas? These questions would haunt Mordenkainen throughout his whole life, but they also reinforced his belief in the necessity of the Circle. For him, the pursuit of balance was not about achieving perfection, but about striving to prevent the extremes of good and evil from tearing the world apart. The Circle of Eight embodied this mission, standing as a bulwark against the forces that threatened to upend the cosmic scales. Central to Mordenkainen's character is his philosophy of balance, a belief that the world's stability depends on equilibrium between opposing forces. To him, good and evil, law and chaos are not inherently virtuous or malicious, but necessary components of existence. Each force, if left unchecked, has the potential to disrupt the natural order and plunge the world into chaos. Mordenkainen's philosophy was not born of abstract theorizing, but of hard-earned experience. He witnessed firsthand the devastation caused by extreme ideologies. Tyrants who sought to impose rigid order cursed the freedoms and spirits of their people, while anarchists and nihilists left destruction in their wake. Even well-intentioned heroes, driven by a singular vision of good, could destabilize the world if their actions tipped the scales too far. To Mordenkainen, balance is not a passive state, but an active pursuit. He believes that achieving equilibrium requires vigilance, adaptability, and sometimes intervention. This belief has led him to make controversial decisions, aligning himself with seemingly villainous factions or opposing ostensibly noble causes when necessary to restore balance. And he is willing to make difficult choices to uphold his principles. This philosophy has also shaped Mordenkainen's approach to magic. He views magic as a tool of natural force that can be used for creation or destruction, depending on the wielder's intent. As a result, he has sought to master all forms of magic, from the arcane to the divine, believing that the comprehensive understanding of these forces is essential to maintaining balance. His spell repertoire reflects his philosophy, with a focus of spells that maintain, control, and stabilize rather than merely destroy. Mordenkainen's philosophy has not been without its critics. Some view his actions as meddlesome, arguing that his interventions disrupt the natural course of events. Others question his moral compass, accusing him of arrogance and detachment. Yet Mordenkainen remains steadfast in his beliefs, convinced that his actions are necessary for the greater good. This commitment to balance has also influenced his relationships with other powerful entities. Mordenkainen has forged alliances with deities, archmages, and extraplanar beings, navigating a complex web of loyalties and rivalries. His reputation as a mediator and a strategist have earned him both respect and enmity, but he remains undeterred in his mission to preserve the multiverse's delicate equilibrium. Ultimately, Mordenkainen's philosophy of balance is a testament to his wisdom and pragmatism. It underscores his belief that the world's complexities cannot be reduced to simple binaries, and their true stability requires understanding, compromise, and foresight. This philosophy has guided him through countless challenges, shaping him into a figure of immense influence and enduring legacy. One of Mordenkainen's most enduring contributions to the multiverse is his fabled Tome of Foes, a compendium of knowledge about some of the most dangerous and enigmatic entities in existence. The tome is not merely a collection of facts. It is a strategic guide offering insights into the motives, strengths, and weaknesses of these beings. For Mordenkainen, Knowledge is power, and the tome represents his commitment to equipping others with the tools to navigate an often hostile multiverse. The origins of the tome can be tracked back to Mordenkainen's travels across the planes. Driven by his insatiable curiosity and his mission to maintain balance, he sought out the truths behind the greatest conflicts in existence. These journeys brought him into contact with fiends, celestials, aberrations, and archfey, and countless other beings whose very existence shapes the fate of worlds. Through observation, negotiation, and sometimes confrontation, Mordenkainen gathered the information that will become the foundation of the tome. The tome's content is as varies as it is invaluable. It delves into the eternal blood war between devils and demons, exploring the delicate equilibrium that keeps their conflict from spilling into the wider multiverse. It examines the grudges and the alliances of the Gith, whose history is a tale of rebellion and survival against the Mind Flayers. It even touches on the internecine struggles of the Elven Pantheon, highlighting how divine conflicts can echo through mortal lives. But the tome is more than a scholarly work. It is a testament to Mordenkainen's philosophy. By understanding these foes, one can better appreciate the complexity of the multiverse and the necessity of balance. The tome also serves as a warning, reminding its readers that even the most powerful beings are not above consequences of their actions. For adventurers and scholars alike, it is both a resource and a challenge, urging them to confront the darker truths of existence with wisdom and courage. The creation of the tome was not without its perils. Mordenkainen's quest for knowledge often brought him into direct conflict with the entities he sought to document. Some viewed his efforts as an affront, while others saw him as a potential ally or pawn in their own schemes. Yet, through wit, diplomacy, and sheer arcane might, Mordenkainen prevailed, ensuring that the tome would become one of the most comprehensive and respected works of its kind. To this day, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes remains a cornerstone of D&D lore, a reflection of its creator's brilliance, and an enduring symbol to his quest to illuminate the darkest corners of the multiverse. Mordenkainen's legacy is one that reverberates across the planes, influencing not just the world of Dungeons & Dragons, but the very essence of what it means to wield power responsibly. For his role in the creation of iconic organizations, to his lasting impact on spellcasting traditions, his influence is undeniable. At the heart of Mordenkainen's legacy lives the Circle of Eight, the group of powerful mages he established to preserve balance in the multiverse. The Circle has been both a stabilizing force and a source of intrigue within Greyhawk lore. Its members, such as Bigby Tensor and Otto, became synonyms with legendary spells and powerful magic, many of which are still wielded and used in Dungeons & Dragons campaigns today. But the Circle's influence extended beyond spellcraft. Their interventions in major conflicts such as the Greyhawk Wars and the rise of Utes the Evil showed the world how a handful of dedicated individuals could sway the fate of nations. Despite internal conflicts and betrayals, the Circle of Eight endured, proving Mordenkainen's philosophy that even flawed systems can serve a greater purpose. For modern players and dungeon masters, the Circle represents an ideal of cooperation and the potential of intellectual debate and moral ambiguity. The very notion of assembling a party of mages with unique perspectives resonates with the cooperative spirit of tabletop gaming. Mordenkainen's name is synonymous with spells that have become integral to the game. Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion and Mordenkainen's sword are just two examples of his contribution to the arcane arts, blending creativity, utility, and raw power. These spells embody his philosophy of magic, that it should serve as both a tool and a weapon, adaptable to the needs of the moment. Players who choose the path of the wizard often find inspiration in Mordenkainen's spellcraft, adopting his spells and even his mindset of preparation, foresight, and intellectual rigor. His spells have become shorthand for resourcefulness and mastery, challenging wizards to aspire to the same level of arcane ingenuity. Mordenkainen's influence reaches far beyond the borders of Greyhawk. His reputation as a planar traveler and master manipulator have made him a key figure in D&D's multiverse. His appearances in modules like the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks and his inclusion in settings like the Forgotten Realms showcase his adaptability and his appeal as a character who transcends individual worlds. In many ways, Mordenkainen serves as a bridge between Greyhawk and other realms. His connections to figures like Elminster of the Forgotten Realms and his appearances in the modern sourcebooks like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything highlights his status as a pan-D&D figure. For players and dungeon masters, Mordenkainen embodies the idea that intelligence and strategy are just as important as brute strength. His emphasis on balance challenges players to think critically about their actions, both in-game and in their broader narratives. In campaigns, Mordenkainen is often used as a mysterious ally, a reluctant adversary, or a font of forbidden knowledge. His enigmatic nature makes him an ideal figure to weave into a story, as his motives are rarely straightforward. Is he helping the party to protect the greater balance, or is he manipulating them for a goal only he can see? Beyond the tabletop, Mordenkainen's legacy has inspired countless works of fiction, art, and game design. His image as a wizened, world-weary mage resonates with fans, representing the archetype of the Grand Wizard while subverting it with his moral complexity. The release of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes solidified his place in the modern era of Dungeons & Dragons by presenting lore and conflict from a cosmological perspective. The book reflects Mordenkainen's own concerns with balance and interconnectedness. It also introduced a new generation of players to the character, ensuring that his name would remain central to the D&D experience. In addition, Mordenkainen's enduring popularity reflects the timelessness of his themes. The idea of seeking balance in an unbalanced world resonates with players who face the moral dilemmas, both in-game and in real life. His legacy encourages creativity, exploration, and a deeper understanding of the forces that shape the multiverse. A hero, a villain, or something in between. Perhaps the greatest testament to Mordenkainen's influence is the debate he inspires. Is he a hero for his efforts to preserve balance, or a villain for his manipulations and the moral detachment? The answer depends on who you ask, and that ambiguity is what makes him such a compelling figure. For some, he is a mentor, a guiding hand that steers the world forward. For others, he is a meddler whose interference causes more harm than good. But for all, he is a reminder that power and responsibility are two sides of the same coin, and the choices we make define the legacy we leave behind. Mordenkainen's story is one of power, wisdom, and the eternal struggle to maintain balance in a chaotic multiverse. He reminds us that true heroism is not about choosing a side, but about seeing the bigger picture and acting for the greater good. But what do you think? Do you think Mordenkainen's actions make him a hero, a villain, or something in between? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this dive into the lore of Mordenkainen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There's a whole multiverse of D&D lore waiting to be explored, and I can't wait to share it with you. Until next time, adventurers, remember, the multiverse is vast, and every action has its consequences. Choose wisely, and may your journey always lead to balance.